Namaste. Today is the 12th of April 2020. Tomorrow, the 13th of April, is when the solar new year in India begins. We celebrate it by different names. Almost every culture in India celebrates that. I'm taking this opportunity to share some information on how we can make our coming year as truly as a new year and truly the way we want it to be. Like every year, every time when we enter a new year, we are wishing each other a happy new year. We're wishing each other to have a lot of prosperity and happiness. But we are entering in such a time where we are being threatened by a virus. And the strength of this virus is so much that it's not limited to any particular country, it's all over the world. It covers friends, it covers enemies, it covers everyone. So can we call it the new year? Can we say Happy New Year? Yes, we can, because it is going to be. I'm a Vedic astrologer, so I'm going to share some insights with you about the present situation. This is a situation which a lot of people, especially who are from the field of astrology, were quite aware. And when I say this, I often hear people saying that if you were aware, why didn't you tell us before? Yes, your point is very valid. But your point would be more valid if you come and listen to me 6 months before if I share this information with you. Because nobody has the time to listen to all this. If, imagine 6 months before, if somebody would have said, like, we're going to go through this kind of crisis, the immediate reaction to that would be, this is all crazy, go away. So, by saying this, I'm also setting my intention clear here that I'm really not interested in reading posts or arguments or people saying, like, but this and that. If you want to believe in it, whatever I'm saying, believe. If you don't, don't. Don't waste my or your time in arguing. There's already an argument going between human existence and this virus threat. So that's why I'm not interested in that. And if you are interested in that, I feel sorry for you because I'm sure you have a brilliant mind and you can put it to better use. With this, let's enter into the astrological uh, phenomena and astrological placements and astrological movement of celestial bodies, which is or which has been pointing towards the coming of this kind of a situation. To begin with, this is not the first time something like this has happened. It happens on regularly with a regular time period on time. I will show you, I will explain you how that's happened, and you will be able to see it as well. Sometimes the impact is so large, since we are all connected, because of internet, active internet, we are so well connected that this time the effect, the impact is felt universally at the same time, and people are able to talk to each other. Before that, also similar situations arose, but we probably think it was not like anything like this was because of the smaller boundaries within which we were confined to. There are 9 planets in Vedic astrology or in astrology, and we consider their movement through different, like they are following a certain path. So we can imagine this path to be us walking from a point A to point B, or from work or home to work. So it's a fixed path. Every day we go there and come back. If you observe the path carefully, depending on how much distance you have to cover and everything, but there would be certainly a pattern if you're following the same timing, that you leave every day at 7 and you reach there at 8 and everything. You would find a lot of, uh, a very strong pattern in what happens every day. Although every day would be a new day, but there would be certain subtle things which will pop up. So similarly, when for planets, when they are traveling, they are following a path, and this path has some already set benchmarks, or already set events, or already set energy which is there. However, what kind of shape, what kind of face that energy is going to take is not known to us. But what is known to us is that, okay, in this particular location there can be this thing good, in this particular location there can be this thing bad. So now if we look at the present scenario, so this is not a scenario which just started. It started in almost September last year, but it gained, and the pace or the momentum that it picked up, that started happening by, I think, January, something like January. There's also a reason why in January it picked up pace, why it was kind of slow before that, but why it became more and more strong. There are these planets which not only move through houses and signs, which is also quite known in the Western world, but there is also something called the nakshatras, or the constellations. And in Vedic system, we are not doing our calculations based on only houses. We are doing our calculations based on the nakshatras, because nakshatra is a deeper uh, level, or the real depth of a sign. Out of these 9 planets, there are 2 planets which are shadow planets. They don't really exist, but they have a very strong influence on us. And these shadow planets, they're always moving in the opposite direction. So if everybody is going in either towards east, they are going to west. And we can see this in our life as well, in ourselves as well. We can see people who are going against the flow. Often it's really challenging and beautiful to come across people who are going against the flow. But when going against the flow becomes a pattern, then maybe it's not about breaking the law, or it's not about freeing, it's about being antisocial, being against human existence. We call it terrorism, any kind of. These shadow planets work like that. They start walking in the opposite direction, and then they create a pattern in the opposite direction, and then they turn us or activate the animalistic side inside us. That's how they work. So in September, these shadow planets moved into a sign. A certain sign, or a certain nakshatra, which is the nakshatra, which is a very powerful nakshatra, and a nakshatra of destruction, nakshatra of transformation, nakshatra of cleansing, a nakshatra of Rudra. Who's Rudra? If you've heard of Rudra, it's good. If you haven't, and Rudra is the destructive form of Shiva. So we're all praying to Shiva. And Shiva is very loving. Shiva is just taking care of everyone. He's just meditating and he's just, you know, he's very loving. But when he sees that we have been taking advantage of his love for us, we have been taking advantage of him being in meditation, and we think that his eyes are closed, and we start to cause pain to him. So that's when, the moment he feels this pain, that's when teardrops come out of his eyes, like just like us. But his teardrop is not an ordinary teardrop. That teardrop is like a giant wave. It's like a tsunami in an endless ocean. And when this shadow planet moves into this nakshatra of Rudra, it becomes a giant tsunami. And this tsunami, it comes to wipe, it comes for cleaning, it comes for transformation. And every time this particular combination of planets and nakshatra happens, there is something big which happens in the world. So coming back to what I started off by telling you, that this is not the first time when it's happening. It happened in 2001. I'm going recent past, as a 9/11 attack. It also happened around 1983. It happened in India, more what I'm aware of it. I don't know major happenings in the world, but I think there was still Gulf War or something happening that time. But in India, the Prime Minister of India was assassinated. The Sikh community, the backbone of India, the strength of India, was put under tremendous amount of pressure, was put under a category of non-reliable, non-trustworthy. They are the ones who have always been protecting, but they are the ones who were being questioned. That is the kind of tsunami this placement brings. That's something which was, they were the most trusted ones. Like, if even today, if you see a Sikh man in India, a Sikh man, like the ones who wear a turban, if you see a Sikh man, the first thought that comes into anybody's mind in India is that I can trust this man. This man will protect me. This man is strong. That is what comes into our mind. But this faith was shaken in 1983. I'm not going to go much into that. But it was like a terror, you can say. There was terror. There was blind terror. There was no absolute chaos. There is no direction. And something like this happened in 2001 and one again when we had the 9/11 attack. That also changed the way we have been living before that. Politically, economically, socially, mentally, everywise, people changed, the thought process changed. And if you look at since then till now, we are completely different beings. 2001, this was not possible to easily make a video, upload it, and let the whole world see you. It was not so easy. Maybe in the West it was easier, but still, we were still on dial-up. We were still working with maybe, I remember, 4 MB space in my phone. 4 MB. You heard me right. We were still there. And suddenly, We are at 128 GB and we still feel that this is too slow. This advancement is in technology comes from the shadow planet which has moved into the sign of Rudra, and what it is doing is it's preparing us to transform ourselves. It's preparing us, it's asking us, or it's giving us an opportunity to choose what do we want to do, because it's going to change anyways. There's amongst this chaos, what are we planning to choose? And the trend is that we will choose more destruction. That is our trend. That is Kali Yuga. That we will continue to choose more destruction. So if you go back into time, 100 years and thousands of years, and keep going back, this phenomena has been happening regularly. Whenever it happens, it brings in an important change. The world wars and all these things. So what is exactly happening here now? So is this corona thing, is it a threat or not? Is it going to end or not? Why are we suddenly put in there? Well, we are put in here because the universe wants us to clean. The universe wants us to think, to hold back. Especially now, because if you will see the pattern in which this time it has attacked us is in a very non-violent way. It has put us, everyone, the whole world behind bars. Imagine the power of this one, because this one is so strong that it has already declared that you are all sinners. So I'm going to put you behind bars. You're all criminals. You're all people who've been doing wrong. And we have been put behind bars, all of us. What do we do? It's a difficult question, and the answer is even more difficult because even if we know the right answer, we will not choose it. We will stick with the wrong answer because this shadow planet's attacks here our thoughts. Our heart knows what it wants to do, what is right and what is wrong. Our brain, our mind does not let us choose what is right. It lets us choose what is more entertaining, what is more easy. It does not let us choose what is more right. And that's why we are being put under this lockdown, this global lockdown. Because the universe trusts us. The universe puts a lot of trust in us, and it does not want to end this species on Earth. And it gives us opportunities after opportunities. It's telling us, hey, slow down. What's your rush? Where do you have to go? Come out, live in the real world. But the real world is too difficult. Making a video like this, what I'm doing right now, is so convenient. All I have to do is just turn on the camera and start talking. It's easy. This nakshatra that I'm talking about, the planet that I'm talking about, it also controls all form of information technology related technology, communication, or tools, or the science behind it. So whether it's your 3G, 4G, 5G, whether it's your global internet or traveling airplanes and everything, it's all under it. Because this planet also signifies radio waves, your radar, ultraviolet rays, and what all rays, I don't even know their names. It controls that, and it is getting more powerful with our actions. We feel we are moving forward, we feel there is progress, but actually it is moving backwards, because this shadow planet is never walking forward. It is always walking in the opposite direction from where everybody else is going. Because it's this. The moment you're listening to me right now, the first thing your brain starts to do is to deny, to resist, or to accept too much. But it is processing in a defensive mode, or in a mode which is not really productive spiritually. It does not let us grow spiritually. It wants to send us back. That's what it does with everything. So all kind of, if you see the advancements that happens, this particular time period is also signifying that there is going to be a huge amount of uh, advancement in technology in coming years, even much more than what we can imagine. What we have been watching in movies as children about like people living in those pods and cubicles and you know living in a very weird way, congested world where I feel suffocated. That is where we are pushing ourselves. Artificial intelligence is already quite intelligent to know that it is artificial, not in fact to know that it's not artificial because it believes it's real. So it's already quite strong. It's going to become even stronger. And this moment right now, we are all scared about this coronavirus. It is a threat, but it is an indication towards even a bigger threat. This threat can be avoided if we stay at home, if we just disconnect. This disconnection is not to sit at home and just chat with friends or do something like that, but it's actually a time to meditate. It's actually a time to connect here. This with this, activate this, let go of our greed, let go of our strong desires, which is going to be difficult because this planet, interestingly, is the one which gives us desires. Actually, not really desires, but obsessions. It creates those obsessions, and they start to drive us. These obsessions are so strong. So basically, the present scenario is this. From Corona point of view, tomorrow, the soul of this universe, Sun, the planet Sun, moves into the sign of Aries, because of which we consider tomorrow to be a new year, a solar new year. And at the same time, the sign of Aries is the sign in which Sun feels the strongest, the happiest. It's a sign of its exaltation. So it becomes very strong. Sun is also our vitality, our immunity, our entire constitution. So our entire strength, our entire constitution is moving into a sign of strength, a sign of immunity, a sign of vitality. So this is a very good sign for all of us, because starting tomorrow, Surya or Sun is going to take charge, and it's using its amazingly healing radiations, It is going to remove all the dark, ultraviolets, and radioactive and infrared rays that the shadow planets are throwing on us. It will start clearing them up to a great extent. But we have to remember at the same time that there's a lot that these planets have created. So it will take a while for the sun to clean it. But on the 23rd of April, the sun becomes extremely exalted. It will be exalted starting tomorrow, but that's on the 23rd is when it becomes extremely exalted, and that is a no moon night. And in a no moon night, sun and the moon, they come together. And sun and moon in astrology are considered to be our soul and our mind, or our uh, not brain, our mind, or our intuitions, our energies, our subconscious. They are going to come together, and there will be absolute darkness. And what this darkness is, that moment before dawn, absolute darkness before dawn. So 23rd of April onwards till the 7th of May, our all of the world, all the people in the world, doctors and all the healers would be working together and will have this strength from the sun and also from the moon to come to a point where we are able to discover the real root cause of this virus threat and to find a remedy for that. This is a time of a great churning. If we go by the ancient Vedic texts, or you can call it mythology, or in fact, like most of Indians would not believe it because they are modern Indians. But I'm surprised. I'm happy also to find and connect with a lot of Westerners who believe in this of the great churning. These are stories. These are information actually passed on to us in form of stories. So there was a story of great churning of the ocean. This great churning was done to bring out the elixir of life, the nectar of life, or immortality in simple words. So there was a great king, and he had defeated all the gods, like the you know the younger gods, the elder gods like uh, Shiva and all. They don't participate in all these things. They are just doing important things. So when they were defeated, and they were like, what to do? They came to Brahma, the creator, we are being thrown out. What to do? And he said, see that you people don't have any energy because of your own deeds, so you can't do anything right. And the demons are really strong because although they are considered to be negative or wrong, but they have been doing their job pretty well, so they have the strength. So now to come out of this thing, because the gods had lost their power because they were cursed by a rishi. So Brahma told them that, okay, now if you want to come out of this, then you will have to do a great churning of the ocean. And when you will do this churning of ocean, the nectar of life, immortality, is going to come out. The essence of this story is not to look at or focus at how can we do a churning and how this. The essence is actually a self-analysis, a self-churning. The demons is here and the gods are here. The demons are our negative actions that we are doing, which are completely destroying the positive energy that we have. This is the time for us to do that churning. And when we will start doing that churning, we will discover the path on which we are all going, and we will probably stop it, and we will take the right path. This is what this time signifies. A lot of us will do the churning, and a lot of us will not do the churning. It's up to you to choose you want to be on which side. Because either way, time doesn't stop, it will move forward. Karmas also don't stop, they will happen, and we will move forward. But it's completely up to us that do we want to have poison in our system, or do we want to have the elixir of life in our system? It's completely up to us. This poison is coming to us through many channels. It's coming to us through information technology. It's coming to us through our phones. It's coming to us through 5G. It is coming through us. Forget about 5G, it's also coming through 4G. It doesn't even matter 4G or 5G. What matters is like we are always on the phone. All of us. All of us means all of us. I'm doing the same thing right now. So what are we going to do about this? This is our real situation. Corona is the cover up that the God, our God, is using us to take out some time and think, where do we want to go forward from here? And this is a global, the God is asking not from one particular country or area or anything, he's asking from the whole world. Because maybe he has planned something really huge. He sees something really huge happening if we don't unite now. So the example of the great journey with the uh, gods and demons also signifies that we have to work with people with whom we have a difference of opinion. This is not a time to be fighting because of or arguing with each other because of our difference in opinions, our caste, our race, our culture, our religion. This is a time actually to forget about that and to work together to see this great journey happening together. The shadow planets that I talk about, they were born when this churning happened. And the gods, the sun god and the moon god, were the ones who found out that there is this demon who's pretending to be a god, and he is trying to take the nectar of life. I didn't tell you the whole story, but after the journey completed, they got this amrita or portion of immortality, but the universe or the gods didn't want to give it to the demons, because if they are already strong, if they have immortality, then there would be only darkness on the world. So they did not know what to do. So then Vishnu, the preserver, he came uh, in the form of a woman, and he offered, like, because the gods and demons started fighting, he said, hey, don't fight, let me you know, you all sit down here, let me do some fun dancing and stuff for you, and I will give it to you, all of you, and all of you can have a good time because you did a lot of hard work. But what they were actually doing was like they separated the demons and the gods, and Vishnu started giving the immortality portion only to the gods and just water to the demons. But there was one demon who realized that it's Vishnu, the woman is really Vishnu, and this is what he's doing. So he joined them. So the disease, it joins with the gods. And the moment the disease joins with the gods, the moon and the sun, our soul and our conscious sees it, and they say, hey, that's not right, that's wrong. And immediately Vishnu chops off this demon's head into two parts. And those two parts are two planets now, two shadows now. And those two shadows are playing a very big role in our life. You want to take it as a mythology, you want to take it metaphorically, you want to take it whichever way, it's up to you, you're free. The idea is to get the message across. And the message is that we have to work with our own demons. We are our own gods. We have to realize that. We have to come out of this negativity that we are causing to this whole world, to this whole universe. This Mother Earth was never under threat. We are. A small movement like by Mother Earth, our game over. So this present time is a threat, definitely, but is also a great opportunity for us to think, meditate, choose wisely, look at our actions, and think, where do we want to go forward from here? Do we want to go to a fake world? Or do we want to live as real human beings? Because this is a crazy rat race. And this should end. One of the most brilliant message that I've read in last few days is that we don't want to go back to what it was before, because what it was before was not working. So we don't want to go there. We should not send ourselves back there. And that will happen only if we take control now. So with this, I just want to say namaste and very happy new year to all of you. And I hope I have not offended anyone through my words or my actions. This is not my intention. My intention is only to share some information with you. If you find the information is useful, please take it. If you find it's not, please leave it. There's a lot of garbage anyways around us. And so thank you for your time. Thank you for watching this video. I will send you a lot of love and a lot of blessings. Namaste.